everyone, welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mama Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. Today, and this weekend, we're working on an eyeglass case. Very simple, great gift idea, something you can give the teacher, something you can give grandma, something you give mom, dad. I made one for me, and I'm gonna make one for Pop. So I have some really nice, thread here on the fabric. It's like a crackle sort of print and texture. It's actually left over from a Canada Day project I did a couple of years ago, and this very bright blue. So I was going to use the blue on the inside and the crackle on the outside, and then the black binding to tie it all up, because Pop has a few pairs of glasses, and I thought maybe this might be something he could put on his desk. So there we go. And of course you can have it so the flap is the other way, and then this is up. It depends on whether you're right or left-handed. It's completely up to you. You can put a little button here, or even a little snap up at the top. There's lots of options you can do. I might even need to put them on to work on a project. We'll put them right there. Okay, so on this one here, I just did cross and down, back and forth. Did really nothing too exciting. I thought I'd go on the angle this time around, do a little cross hatching. This was just the grid work there. So let's, we'll just put it away. So, what do we have here is 2 squares of fabric. They are 8 inches each, and a piece of thin batting or batting. This is just poly, what I have here in the shop. It's all about, I get a lot of extra bits left over from the quilts, and I like to try and think of ideas of how to use them up to make little projects for people. So that's what it is. It's 8, 8, and 8, and then you just do whatever quilting design you'd like. You could make this as a 9 patch, you could do this as a 4 patch. I just did it as nice solid pieces of fabric, and of course I found this really nice pink stuff in my collection. I thought, why not make a really pretty case out of it for me, and then I have some tan on the inside. Just, I thought maybe make it bright on the inside, and it could be dark on the outside, you know what I mean? All right, so now you could either mark this all out, whatever. I'm just gonna wing it. Maybe I'll put some curves in it. It doesn't really matter. I am using white thread, so you will be able to see some of it on that side, but you could use a variegated thread, you could use a coordinating thread, you could use whatever you like. Use a glow-in-the-dark thread. That'd be kind of neat. And you're just going off and keep going off and off and off until you get it all quilted up to your desired liking. Okay. And you could use your walking foot. This is a great opportunity to learn how to use your walking foot if you've never used a walking foot before and weren't quite sure on maybe what sort of projects to be using it on and needed to test it out to make sure you're liking it. This is a great one to test it. You can make a little table runner, you can make a placemat, you could do the little eyeglass case here. There's lots of things you could learn to use your walking foot with. Now, if you wanted to give these away as gifts or something like that, you could, obviously plan it out, grid it out, that sort of thing. I'm just making one for Pop. He likes my weird randomness. Hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend. Next weekend is Thanksgiving for us. We're very excited. But we will still be doing our live stream. And of course tomorrow. We'll be there tomorrow, so be sure to watch us at 3 p.m. Eastern. Hanging out, working more on our rainbow ribbon quilt top, where I have a bit of everything we've been doing for the past 12 projects, or 11 projects, because this will be the 12th one. Since our big scrappy adventure for 2018. It started in the late part of 2017, but it was only 1 or 2 shows. But we've had an amazing time so far, and we still got a couple more months to go. But after this one, after the rainbow one, we're working on Christmas stuff until Christmas. Because I got a big container of Christmas fabric, and even though I put Christmas fabric in some of my projects, I did not touch that bucket. They just happened to be in the pile, and I used it. That was just how it went. Now you can quilt this up as much as you like. You could quilt it to death so it was stiff, it was standing up by itself. You know, you could block the sun with it, whatever. I'm just going to do a few more lines in this direction just to get it the way I like. Oh, I like that. Oh, it looks pretty on the back. All right. Okay. So now just the same. We just flip it and go from corner and just keep working on diagonal. Great way to use some fun prints, especially if you're doing it for, you know, some guys, some camo, cars and trucks and motorbikes and all that sort of fun stuff. You know, those would be good fishing prints, you know, that sort of thing. And it kind of gives a little protection to the eyeglasses themselves with the little batting, so in a little case, so maybe they won't get crushed. Sometimes you just got to think of these ideas. And there's many different ways to close it. It's completely up to you. All right, almost there. This would be the longest part of it, really. It's a really fast project. That's why I think you can make a few of them and give them away. Who wouldn't need a pair, even if it's just for sunglasses? You know, it doesn't have to necessarily just be for eyeglasses. It can be just for sunglasses. Or, you know, if somebody who works in the shop all the time and they've got those safety glasses, you can go and take one pair of those, measure it up, and see how maybe a little bit bigger you need to make them. That could be something that gets stuck on the tool wall, and the safety glasses get put right in it or something. I don't know. Think about it. Fun project with leather. There you go. Okay, so there it is. Just all cross-hatched, ready to go. Now we trim it up to 7.5 by 7.5, okay? So that's where you kind of get one of your squaring up rulers, or you could use your board, but make sure you're kind of trimming from either side or both sides a little bit first to get your 7.5, instead of just trying to take it all off on one side, because as you can tell, you know, the blue extends a little bit farther than the gray over on this side, so, you know, I want to make sure all is, you know, is nice and square for the 7.5. Okay, so 7.5 on here is that little line right there and that little line right there. So I'm going to make sure I have a little bit on this side of that line so I can trim up. Okay. Okay, then move that away. And then we take this and we turn it around. And we know this corner is nice and square, so we can go put it right up on the 7.5. Ooh, make sure you got 7.5 and not 6 3/4. Okay, and then again, you're just trimming it up. Yeah, that's why you have it a little bit bigger on all sides, because even with this little amount of quilting, you can see how it shifted. So there we go. And there is our nice, beautiful little piece. And that goes into the scrappy bin, okay? So now the key point to this is when you're putting out your binding, you need 2 strips of about 21 inches or, you know, about 40 inches, I think, just to be on the safe side. I forgot to measure that one before as I was going. And whichever side you're going to have this as the front or the back, it really doesn't matter at this point, because you can either do machine stitch or hand stitch to be finishing it off. Okay, so what I like here is to come down just a little bit more than the halfway point throughout this, because that's actually going to be this part that's going to get tucked down into here, okay, because that'll be on the fold. Okay, so we're going to come across here and we're just going to stitch, and then we're just going to flip our little corners, doing this sort of backwards here, but that's okay depending on which way you want to go, and then come all the way down to here. So you're just kind of going to make a little small R, backward 7, weird L, or whatever, to be an L to you sort of thing. Okay, and that's how you start this off. Okay, so let's go do that. Let's pop a couple of pins in just to keep things where we want them. Okay, and bring our little tail over. Now I'm going to try and make this so it's the other way, you know, and it's just because I'm going to try. I made that one that way. All right, so I'm going to go from this side, this corner here, and 1/4 inch away and come all the way down here. It's like a, I guess, a backwards partial seam. Okay, come all the way down. And take the top one out. Okay, now that we have that sewn right there, we're going to take that and do what we would normally do for binding to get it so the corner comes up and you have that amount to flip to the other side. Okay, hopefully the small camera is working today and I'm not just, you know, showing to me because that'd be a little weird. And then stitch all the way down to the 1/4 inch away from there. Okay. All right. Okay, now, here we go. There's our little piece that we need. Now, we go in to take this, flip it over to the back side, front side, whatever it's going to be, and you're going to hand stitch or machine stitch. I'm just going to machine stitch this part down, just this and this about half, I'd say 3/4 of the way, okay? This is going to go all the way. And this is where you could use a nice decorative stitch, especially if you know if this is going to be the outside. You know, you can do whatever you like. Okay. And this would be a great way to use very unique binding, like if you had rainbow binding. I have some of that same for a project. This would have been nice to use it for. Or, you know, a nice, you know, variegated colored binding, something like that. Okay, I'm just stopping there just so I can show you what else we have to have going on here, okay? So as this comes over here, okay, it folds in half. We're going to have to finish this corner and this corner down to here. And then this eventually gets tucked in and folded and tucked and folded and closing these two together from this point on. Okay, you flip and sew the binding as if it was just a normal quilt or table runner or anything like that. But then as soon as it gets down to this point, as you have it folded, that's when it comes up and it elopes both of those pieces, the top and the bottom, and then you make sure it's all stitched together like a cute little pocket, okay? So just, I don't know if you can see that, but anyways, it's just like that. It's really neat, it's cute, and it looks really nice. Okay, so we'll finish that off just right here. Actually, we could have went just a little bit more, couldn't we? All right, so let's just fold that. I chose a really thin black binding. I'm just making sure it's lined up all the way. I think this was pretty much about 3/4 down. We'll stop there just to be on the safe side. Okay, and we'll finish this up right across the top. Fold that little corner under right there. And then right to about there. And like I say, you can use a nice, even a black thread. Would have been nice to be able to finish that off too. You know, I didn't necessarily have to use white. Sorry, for some reason my little snips are magnetized and needles want to stick to them. Okay, okay, so now we have, hold on, we were working, oh no, I got myself confused. It's okay, I got it. Aha. Okay, so that way we're going to do that way. No, I did that the same as that way. It must have been this way. Okay, here. Yes, because that gets, oh no, I guess it was that way. Whatever. It is what it is. Okay, so once we have it sewn around, pretty much half. You're doing like a big U shape. Okay. Fold it. And you're going to eventually, did I get it the wrong way? Hold on here. Brain farting. Okay, here. Did I sew it down too much? Oh no, I didn't. Woohoo! Just had to come up enough. Okay. There, and that's where you end up folding it under. You're now taking the raw edge of your binding and making sure your other edges, and especially the one that you just sewed halfway down on, is tucked in and is getting sewn down with that binding edge as it comes around the corner. Comes down the rest of the half and it down around the corner. Okay. Put a pin in there if you need to. Should be okay. If not, I know where the seam ripper is. Okay. And then we will go, and then as we come to the end here, I wasn't sure if I needed all of this or not, so I did add some. Okay, and then we make sure we fold this in the manner so we can get their corner correct. Always fiddly. Okay. Ooh. And then when we get close to the edge here, what we do is we trim a little bit away, and then we fold that little raw edge back under on the side here, okay? So we know we have to trim up about there. Ooh, come here, you. I had you folded, and then I got you all messed up. Okay, there we go. And see how that is just enough hanging over? Tuck it right under. And that way you have a nice clean edge at the end when you're sealing it all up. Okay. All right, now let's go back from here. Sorry, scissors. Go right to the end. And then we flip it over and seal it down. Okay, just like that. And now we know that edge is not going to bother us at all because it's not raw. It's all tucked under fold. We can go there. We can either use your little clips or put in your pin, your safety pins, or your sewing pins here. Okay, and then tuck also your corner there all the way. Of course, trim up any weird and wackadoodle threads that are bothering you. And you can tuck your corner whichever way makes you happy. Here to there, or there to here. It doesn't really matter, okay? Keep it nice and tight on the fold. Make sure this is not getting attached again. You don't want that attached. You want to start from up here, come all the way down. And make sure your corner is folded in. Lift up. Nice and tight. And this would be a great place to put someone's initial. You know, I could put a big P for Pop, or M for Munchkin, or me, or, you know, Mom, or whatever. Well, I am Mom, but, you know, Mom's a mom. All right, and like I said, you could put a button, put a little snap. You could put a little snap there, and the glasses just slide right in. There you go. Super cute. Isn't that adorable? Well, all the threads are in the way. Now it's going to drive me nuts. Need to trim. Thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. We really, really appreciate it. And we will see you tomorrow on the live stream. And thanks for watching. All right, take care. Have yourself a great day.